Hey, Shalom, Mishra. I want to start off source by giving all praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Rakak, double honors to the apostles of GMS, and honors to you brothers doing the work in truth, while sincerity. Um, yeah, this one's inspired from something that I've been personally going through, in that I worry a lot. I'm trying to I'm trying to control too much when really I have no control of anything, right? I'm thinking 5, 10, trying to think 5, 10 steps ahead, because doing the way the old man likes to worry, right? The old man in me likes to worry. It likes to, when it's worried, right, it then likes to try solve the situation. But that's not how, you know, that's just that's not how life works on this side, right? Once you're in the truth, right? And that's the thing about, you got to, what you call it, renew your spirit every day, right? Every day you're chipping away at the old man, in the hope that the new man will be which will be better. And like I said, that's just a problem that I realize that I have, right? So it says, I'll start from this, bread and butter. Proverbs 18:10 says, the name of Yahweh is a strong tower, right? The righteous runneth into it and is safe, right? So you'll be worrying about this, that, and the other, but really, obviously, there's balance of, to everything. I'm not saying just go out and be reckless, of course not, right? But there is certainly a point when you're now worrying too much. Whereas if you just say, hey, Lord will deal with it, right? Sometimes you stay up worrying, oh, what if this, what if that, but you have no control over the situation, right? It might be, on a carnal sense, because when you read the scriptures, there's no such thing as what you call it, free will, right? The Lord guides the steps, right? That's fact. What is that? What can we get? Job 33:15. So right, this is Job 33:15. Right, it says, "In a dream and a vision of the night, when deep sleep falleth upon men, in slumberings upon the bed." Right. So when you're sleeping, right. It says, "Then he openeth the ears of men and sealeth their instructions, right, that he may withdraw man from his purpose and hide pride from man." Right. So everything that you do, right, the Lord is the one that's basically programmed you to do it, right? We don't do anything of our own accord, and that knowing, then it's like even more reason to be like, why, basically not trying to force everything, not trying to control things that are beyond our control, right? Let me get some scriptures just on this real quick. See a quick one. Yeah, Proverbs 20:24 says, "Man's goings are of Yahweh. How can a man then understand his own way?" Right. So whatever we do, right, that's we're basically doing what we've been programmed to do, nothing more, nothing less. So that knowing was the point of, okay, oh shit, what if this happens? What if that happens? You don't know. You don't know. All you can do is, just believe and have faith, right? I don't know. You might be what you call it? Might have a I don't know. You might have a meeting with your boss, and you're certain he's gonna fire you, and then you're worrying. Oh, what about this? What about that? How am I gonna pay my bills, right? But little did you know, right, that the Lord has basically sealed the instructions of your boss to basically, keep you at the job for whatever reason, right? He has an encounter, in his day to day where he's like, what, actually, I ain't gonna fight this guy. So what have you done? You've what you call it? You stressed, right? And what you call it? You've messed your mind up. And then did it even get down to what you call it? Down to what it was. And the thing is, now as I'm saying this, I recognize that I've actually gone through that exact situation. I fucked up at work, right? It was a Thursday, and I remember, like, I just lost my appetite. I fucked up, right? And then what is it then after the fact, right? Boss wasn't in on Friday, right? And then I'm thinking, oh man, man, I'm gonna lose my job, blah 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 blah. Blah. Then comes Monday, right? We comes back, and you say, hey, how you doing? You right? And that was the end of that. And he never spoke about it, but in that time, right, because I had stressed and I had I had a at the time, I had a certain ailment that I believed was triggered by stress. I just made myself ill to no cause. Why? Because I was worrying and worrying and worrying about something that I just didn't have any control over. Right? I really should have been like, oh man, shit, I fucked up. You think, damn, I fucked up. But then you like, yo, but I don't know what the Lord's got planned. Maybe He wants me to move on from this job, right? Maybe the Lord will sort it out, right? And that's the thing. It's like, the Lord will sort it out, because this is the reason why, just wasting time, which you call it, stressing and caring about things ain't healthy, because ultimately our battle is with these principalities, these demons, these spirits, right? That's the battle that we're fighting on a day-to-day basis, right? This, we're stressed out by the what you call it, by this wicked kingdom, right? Let me get a couple of these, right? This is Ecclesiastes 7:7 says, surely oppression maketh the wise man mad, right? And the gift destroyeth the heart. When we're oppressed, right? Knowing that these heathens are supposed to be what you call it, below us, right? Yet we're on, hey, let me get that real quick. This is Ecclesiastes 10:7. Right, it says, I've seen servants upon horses and princes walking as servants upon the earth. Right, knowing these things, right, and then what do you call it? Knowing these things, and then not having these things in effect. That's gonna that stresses us out. Knowing that our woman isn't on point, we can't control our women, we can't control our children, we can't raise a family. In this kingdom, you hear your woman's pregnant, immediately you're stressing. You're like, oh shit. What does this mean? Oh, that's money I don't have, blah 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 blah. Right, so this is which got the oppression of this kingdom, right? So when you're adding excess worries and cares, when all you've got to do, as I'll get into the lesson, is cast it upon the Lord, right? All your cares, you just cast out on the Lord, right? Then you can, your mind can be sane, so you can, study how you're supposed to study, right? You can, what do you call it? Do all of the things that you're supposed to do, right? It says Ephesians 6:11 says, put on the whole armor of the Most High, that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil, right? The whole armor is these scriptures, right? Every the nastiness of the scriptures, as Apostle Gabar coined it, and the what do you call it? And all of the scriptures, man. Right, so for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Right, so you got these witches and warlocks casting spells against brothers, right? Basically trying to make what you call it, brothers go off. The way this whole kingdom is designed such that we're trained to go off in our day to day, right? So when you got all of these things going on in the background, then it's like, yo, what's the point in caring about shit you have no control over? No, you gotta, like I said, there's balance to it, right? There's a point when you're caring too much. You're stressing yourself out. Now, and I'm having to say that because what I'm not trying to say is go out there and be reckless, right? That's not what I'm saying, right? I'm not saying just fob off work, because the Lord will provide or whatever. No, the Lord provided by giving you the job, right? You just always got to put that in, right? But hey, your cares, man, just put it on the Lord. Right, like I said, gave you the example of might be thinking about, oh shit, I'm gonna lose my job, right? But then the Lord, would you call it? It's a trial. It might be a trial of faith. You might lose your job, right? But in the back of your mind, you're thinking, man, the Lord's purifying me, right? what you call it, son. It says Hebrews 12:6. It says, "For whom the Lord loveth, he chasteneth, and scourgeth every son whom he receiveth." Right? So, and it goes on to say, "If ye endure chastening, the Most High dealeth with you as with sons. For what son is he whom the Father chasteneth not?" Right? So, basically, if you feel you might be going through some stuff, right, and the Lord is just chastening you, right? He's just what you call it, purifying you to prepare you for something new. We don't know what that new thing is, but the Lord is preparing us, right, so that we can get cleaned out, get better, right? But what do you call it? Yeah, so I was saying you might lose that job, right? But then the Lord, then at the end of it, once your faith has been proven, right, then you get a better job, right? In the back of your mind, you're just thinking, the Lord will provide. Right? We'll be getting more scriptures into that. Right, so First Peter 5:6 and verse 5:6. First Peter 5 verses 6 and 7 says, "Humble yourselves therefore under the mighty hand of the Most High, that He may exalt you in due time." Right, casting all your care upon Him, right, for He careth for you. Right, so just cast your cares upon the Lord. Right, it says Psalms 55:22 says, "Cast thy burden upon Yahweh, and He shall sustain thee. He shall never suffer the righteous to be moved." Right, so like I said, cast thy burden upon the Lord. These things that will be caring about this, that, and the other, trying to control. Right, just be like, Lord Yahweh Shemi Al Shai, take care of this for me, right? Or help me get out of this situation, right? So Sirach 2:10 says, "Look at the generations of old and see, did ever any trust in the Lord and was confounded?" And the answer is no, right? You read the story of Daniel in the lion's den, right? You read the story of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, right? You read, loads of different stories when the Lord has basically delivered His men, those that had faith in Him, right? And that's ultimately the thing that I realize, when you're worrying about this, worrying about, oh, what if this happens, what if that happens, or what about X, Y, Z, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, right? Really, that's a lack of faith, right? Because we've got the scriptures here to say, hey, look, the Lord takes care of His men, right? And it's like, wait, don't you believe that? If you really did believe that, it's like, why are you worrying so much? Right, and like I said, that's me talking to myself, right, and whoever feels that way as well, then and that's the thing, just think of, pray that the Lord gives you that faith, so that you can stop worrying, so you can stop giving yourself excess stress when we've already got a shitload of things to deal with in the first place, right? It says, "Or did any abide in His fear and was forsaken? Or whom did He ever despise that called upon Him?" Right. So if you're doing right, and you have faith in the Lord's gonna take care of you, man. Right. So Romans 15:4 says, "For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning." Right. So like I said, story of Daniel, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. The history of Susanna, that's a good read in the Apocrypha, right? She was in a Susanna. Hey, I won't give you any spoilers, man. Hey, read that story. It's a brilliant story, a story of faith, and what happened. The Lord sent someone to as a deliverance, man. Right? Hey, look at us. Look at Israel as a whole. Right? What does the scripture say? All have sinned and come short of the glory. Right? The wages of sin is death. So really, we should all be dead. Right? But the Lord had mercy, and He sent His Son Yahweh Shai, right, so that we can be saved. Right? This is Matthew 6:25. It says, "Therefore I say unto you, take no thought for your life, what ye shall eat, or what ye shall drink, nor yet for your body, what ye shall put on. Is not the life more than meat, and the body than raiment?" Right? So this is after the Lord said, hey, go out, do what you got to do, Right, if I'm not mistaken, am I getting my stories mixed up? Am I getting my stories mixed up? Yeah, don't quote me on that. I think the one what I'm referring to is Matthew's 10, Salak. Right, it says but the point there is made, right? Just basically, uh, in fact, I got to read more into it. It says, "Behold the fowls of the air, for they sow not, neither do they reap, nor gather into barns, yet your heavenly Father feedeth them. Are ye not much better than they?" Right, basically saying that hey, look, the birds, they don't have storehouses like we do. They don't do all of that, right? Yet they get fed, right? And basically saying, you're the sons of God. You're Yasha Allah. He's the Prince of the Power, the Son of God, right? Are you not better than the fowls of the air? If I feed the fowls of the air, I'll feed you. Right, so don't worry about that, man. Right? And also, something the apostles said is like, we ain't got it like that financially, but for the most part, every brother knows where their next meal's gonna come from, right? Whether it's a brother, a family member, or so on and so forth, right? The Lord takes care of His men, and that's something that we all gotta think about more, and what you call it, meditate on more, and to just, just. Because you, like I said, you speculate, and none of those things you speculated on come to pass. But here it is, you're now sick. You've now got, or whatever, what have you. All right, it says Mark 11:23. So for verily I say unto you that whosoever shall say unto this mountain, be thou removed, and be thou cast into the sea, and shall not doubt in his heart, but shall believe that those things which he saith shall come to pass, he shall have whatsoever he saith. Right, so if you ask for faith, right, the Lord to build you up in the faith so that you can put your cares upon Him, right, then the Lord will bring it to pass, right. But the point there is, but shall believe that those things which He says shall come to pass. It's all good praying, but if you don't believe in your own prayer, then what's the point, right? But yeah, what was something I wanted to get into and share. Yeah, cast your burdens upon the Lord, and the Lord will fight for you. Lord will deal for you, man. All you gotta do is have faith that whatever you're going through, the Lord will take you out of that situation, right? So until the next time, shalom.